What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM. It's Wednesday. It's about 8:30. It's the 14th day of September 2022. It's about 75 degrees and... hold on a sec. Hazy. Oh, I hate hazy. That means muggy here at Site B. And it's time to take a look at all the crowdfunding, Kickstarter type stuff that are coming to an end as they relate to our hobby. All these crowdfunding projects should be ending by the end of the week, assuming they get funded all the way. So here's your chance for me to talk about them and see if any of them are worth your time. From Deus Ex Machina Games, we have Amethyst 5e, Magic and Technology Collide. This is a source book. Most popular pledge is $75. The quality of the book is outstanding. You get several books, including the Amethyst 5e setting. It looks like arcane punk, steampunk kind of stuff. You got everybody trapped in a city while their fantasy monsters outside. You got a mix of magic and post-apocalypse and technology and steampunk stuff. And it looks like it comes with a musical CD and some really cool artwork. If you're familiar with Eberron, or if you're familiar with Dota, or if you're familiar with Arcane on Netflix, or any of the many arcane punk, steampunk, post-apocalypse fantasy type stuff, here's a new one for 5e. We also just recently had Iron Kingdoms come out for 5e. I'm a huge fan of the Iron Kingdom setting. So if I was going to do one of these, I'd probably back Iron Kingdom. But $75 for starting fee, most popular pledge, to get a whole bunch of PDFs and some other free stuff, that's pretty reasonable. So I don't know, maybe this one might be worth it. From Outland Entertainment, we have Bullets and Bleed-Throughs for D&D 5e. This is a source book. $28 is the most popular pledge. It's a 250-page sci-fi Weird West type role-playing game. Looks like it combines the Dark Tower meets Mad Mex meets Papa Lucy and the Bone Man. Stephen King meets George Miller. So post-apocalypse fantasy, Weird West. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like now that's trying to recapture Weird West. I love Weird West, and I don't know why the Weird West genre hasn't caught on more in fantasy than it did, you know. I mean, if I had a choice between D&D fantasy and D&D Weird West, I'd probably go Weird West. But I guess the Weird West fan base is not as big as the D&D fan base, considering we live in the United States of America and how, you know, ingrained the Western mythology is in the USA. You'd think cowboy role-playing would be more popular than it is. So, yeah, just, you know, one of those weird things I never understood. But here's one that's, you know, $28 for PDF and POD as the most popular pledge. 5e Weird West. Who knows? It could be good. From ND Hobbies, we have Micro Dungeons for D&D 5e. $40 for 3 PDFs. Each one has 50 dungeons in it. And all of them are like one-page dungeons. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of one-page dungeons out there that you can get for free. But $40 for 50 one-page dungeons divided into 3 PDF collections, that could be worth it. Or you could pay absolutely nothing and get a bunch of one-page dungeons for free, because there's tons of them online. From Pace Setter Games and Simulations, we have Tomb of Quests. This is a source book for D&D 5e. It's $45, the most popular pledge. And it's another book of just adventures. A ton of adventures for 5e. In case you're not smart enough to make up your own, or there's not enough 5e product out there and you need something independent, a ton of adventures $45 is the most popular pledge for D&D 5e. Again, it's a great idea. Tons of adventures, tons of ideas, tons of one-shots for those days when everybody doesn't show up. But on the other hand, you can get a whole bunch of the same things for free online. So really the only advantage is you're paying $40, $50, $100 to get a collection of stuff you can get for free. I like these. I don't love them because, again, free. From the Black Vault, we have Elderith, the Book of Magic for D&D 5e. This is a source book. It's $50 is the most popular pledge. This book adds new Elderith Lovecraftian type stuff that you can do for your D&D game because there's not enough things out there that are milking Lovecraft. You will note that almost every one of these are 5th edition products. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. It might have something to do with 1D&D, and it might have something to do with all the bad press, and people are like, I knew this was going to happen. People are like, the 5e engine is open source. It's the new OGL. We can hack it to almost any type of genre and just say it's 5e compatible. And all the 5e players who are just like, in this weird nebulous void between the end of 5th edition and the beginning of 1D&D, everything that's going to happen between now and 2024, I said we were going to see a lot of people jumping on the 5e bandwagon and trying to use the 5e engine to get their product out there because we don't know the fate of 5e once 1D&D/6e becomes live. I mean, we know Wizards of the Coast claims it's backwards compatible, but anybody who's seen the playtest knows it's not backwards compatible. Speaking of the playtest, today is the last day to do the survey. So if you haven't done the 1D&D survey yet over on D&D Beyond, today is the last day. It's going black tomorrow. And the next upgrade should be available in 2 weeks, which means the beginning of October. We'll see the next chapter of whatever's going on with 1D&D. That should be fun. So yeah, I called this. I said this was going to happen, and it's happening. Everybody who can is trying to milk the 5e engine while it remains open source. And trying to either make 5e adjacent games or expansions to 5e D&D because they see the potential popularity of the engine. They want to take advantage of it before Wizards of the Coast says, oh, it's not open source anymore, just like they did with the OGL, even though we know they couldn't, but they tried. They're still trying. So, yeah. And let's face it, if we're going to get on the 5e tangent, when do we not? 5e, the engine, works great, just not for pulp heroic fantasy. 5e is not D&D, but it's not to say it couldn't work for other games that sort of are more closer to the energy that the 5e system seems to have for it. Now, Elderith Horror is not one of the things I would associate with 5e. It's like as far away from the 5e engine as you could get. But still, I get it, trying to capture that Cthulhu, whatever. I've gone off on this tangent too long. Okay, from Blazing Worlds, we have the Black God's Kiss RPG box set for the OSR. $90 is the most popular pledge, and your characters, it's an adventure campaign where your characters face off against the Black God. So basically it's somebody doing an OSR version of Mork Borg, but it looks like it comes with some cool figures, and it looks very dark and Geiger-esque stuff, and it's designed for the OSR and the OSE. $90 from Mork Borg. From AAW Games, we have Root Mork. This is for D&D 5e. It's an adventure module. Most popular pledge is $129. $129 for a module? How many pages is this? It's got 7 encounters in it. Jonathan G. Nelson presents Rultmort, Rultmoork, for D&D 5e. It's $130 for a D&D adventure. Yeah, no. 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 From Polyhedra Games, we have Nebula Chaos. This is the core rulebook for the Polyhedra core engine system. $10 is the most popular pledge. It's pedal to the metal sci-fi action, space opera, Star Wars, Firefly, laser shooting sci-fi fun. If you're looking for a sci-fi game for $10, yeah. I don't know anything about the Polyhedra core engine system, and there's no link. Let's see if I can find anything about it. They are also the people who brought us Justice Velocity and Tourmaline Valley. I can't find anything about what Justice Velocity actually is. I think it's a auto racing game. And Tourmaline Valley looks like just an adventure. Yeah, I can't find anything about the system, so I don't know. If anybody's familiar with the Polyhedra core engine system, let me know. And finally, our friends at EN Publishing just can't stop putting crap out. So the Dungeon Delver's Guide, a source book for Level Up 5e and 5e in general, is coming to an end for this Kickstarter, which seems to have been going on forever. $50 is the most popular pledge. It's got a whole bunch of ideas and tips and tricks and stuff for building Underdark and dungeons. If you can't find a copy of Veins of the Earth, which is still one of the best that has come out for this type of thing, there's tons of, Dungeon Delver, how to build Underdark dungeon type guides out there. And this is one of them. And EN Publishing definitely could be a worthy contender to 5e with Level Up, even though other than me, I don't know if anybody's even talking about this shit, but they sure do advertise a lot. So yeah, $50 is the most popular pledge. Okay, so do I recommend any of these? Maybe the Weird West one. Yeah, that's the only one I would say definitely yes. As for definitely no, the $130 module. $130 for a module. Dude, good on you if you can get $130 for your book, but what does it come with? PDF, print version, dice, and tokens. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get $130, dude. But good on you if you do. Yeah. So, hey, send me a free copy. I'll review it because we know I'll sell out. That's it for today. If any of the things I just talked about sounds like something you want to support, you can look them up at your favorite Kickstarter crowdfunding site, because remember, there's more than one now. And let them know the OGGM sent you. And speaking of merch, check out my merch, because, I've got merch over on the Teespring now. Brand new stuff. The West Coast Groganard fashion line. I've already sold like 4. Wow. Till next time, stay warm, stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay off my land, you damn kids.